Everyone, welcome to your weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Lauren Urbonis, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now today I would like to share with you one of our online exclusive products. So I know you guys are all loving the annual catalog and the holiday catalog, which are both physical copies in your hand, full of great products and projects. But don't forget that every few months, Stampin' Up! Releases items exclusively on their online stores. So if you go to my website, for instance, laurenurbonis.stampinup.net, and type in the search box online exclusives, you'll be able to see a bunch of different papers, stamps, embellishments, dies that Stampin' Up! Has offered only in an online selection. Now, the reason that they're doing that is that these are not tied to any specific catalog. So even if a holiday catalog, for instance, expires at the end of December, if this has been a very popular set, they can continue offering it throughout the next few months. So the nice thing about the online exclusives too is if you see them in the store, even if it says currently unavailable, they are going to be back. And so they're still offered. Stampin' Up! Has done a really good job actually of keeping up the inventory of those items. And so today what I want to show you is one of those bundles. This is the Frosted Forest bundle, and I love the versatility. It's got trees that fit both a summer, autumn, and winter theme, and also dies and masks that go with that. Now we are going to play with this bundle on a future video as well, where I'm going to show you more about how to use the stamps and the dies from this set, because as you can see, they are amazing. We're not really using those today. Instead, what I'm going to showcase for you is a set of decorative masks that Stampin' Up! Offers in addition to this bundle. So there are masks to complete this tree. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then the other masks in the set are for the evergreen trees, the large and the small ones. So again, we will come back to these pieces at a later date, which is your reminder to subscribe to my channel, because then you will get to see those videos. And we'll play with those later. But for now, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use masks and how fun it can be to make just a simple tree card for your friends. So if you'd like to follow along, I have all of the measurements and descriptions in the description on the video, I should say, but I will show you what you need to cut as we go as well. You can always hit that pause button if I have worked a little quicker and I have things prepped that you don't. So please don't ever get overwhelmed. Just follow along at your own pace and enjoy these videos, because I hope you do. They're fun. All right, starting off, we need a base. So I'm using Mossy Meadow. I've got a piece cut at 4 1/4, and it is 11 inches long. We're putting a score mark in the middle at 5 1/2, just so that we can fold this in half and have a full working card. Now on the inside of my card, I always like to have something to write on, so I'm going to put a piece of basic white in there. This piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and you can always come back later and do a little extra stamping. Maybe you would like to stamp one of those trees inside here, or a sentiment, or you can grab another set that, fits with this nature theme. But until I know who this is for, like to leave the insides relatively open so I can work with that. There we go. Now, we're going to go with the front of the card. So starting off with a background base, this is Early Espresso, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're popping this one up on dimensionals though, so it's a little bit different, has a little bit of life to the card. So I like my mini dimensionals. I know they take a long time. There we go. Mini dimensionals all over the place. And I should mention that this bundle, you can't buy Oh, maybe you can. Let me look because I don't want to give you incorrect information. Oh, you can. Okay, so there's 3 pieces to this bundle. Can't see that because my phone and camera don't like each other. But if you were to buy this whole bundle in Canada, it'd be $89. You'd get the stamp set, the dies, and the masks. I was about to say, I don't know if you can buy these masks separately, but I was corrected, and you can. So that's the nice thing too here, is you could always, if you don't have a cut and emboss machine, for instance, you maybe don't buy the dies, but they're really pretty. You want them. You can just buy the decorative masks on their own for $21. And I'm sorry I'm showing this to you because I know you can't see it. So you can buy these masks on their own. You wouldn't be able to stamp the tree in the background like we're going to do, but that's okay. It would still look like a tree, even if you just layered the masks together. Okay, so that's one option for you, is just to buy these masks to play. I'm going to move that base out of my way, and I'm going to grab myself a piece of white. This will be 3 3/4 by 5, and that's what I'm going to do my tree on. Okay, so let's do a little experiment. If you own this stamp, you can grab the background, you can stamp it out in Early Espresso. But let's see what happens if you don't own this stamp. Okay, so we're gonna take our masks. This has a number 2 in the corner because technically I would have done it second, but because I want it to fit, I need to make sure it fits on here. I'm gonna do this first. We're working backwards because typically I would stamp that and then I would be able to build my image. But let's play. This is just masking, no stamping. And then I'll show you how to stamp. Old Olive. That's going to be our first layer. We're using number 2. And I did make you a beautiful chart. So if I was doing this with the stamping job, look, here you can follow along. I would stamp first. And then I would take the trunk mask and do this. And then I would take this mask and I would do that layer. And then I would take mask number 3 and do this layer. We're having a little experiment off the book time. Never tried this. I'm going to hold the mask down, making sure to put pressure on the mask and my paper so it pushes into the desk. And I'm just gently with a blending brush. You can use the large or small ones. If you don't have blending brushes, you can use a sponge dauber or a Kleenex. You probably wouldn't get as nice of an image, but it's worth a try. But I do love these blending brushes. They're very easy. You can rinse them out in cold water and they're good to go. Okay, there's layer number 1. Next, we're going to close this and grab our trunk. We're going to go with Early Espresso for that one because it's great. We're going to put the trunk in here. You can kind of match up some of those branch spots. Do you see how they work? Right there. And I've got another brush for Early Espresso. Again, I'm making sure this is in place, holding it as tight as I can by just pressing into the desk. And I'm circle motioning all the way down the tree trunk. You might need to pick up some more ink. Just going in nice little circles. Like that. Okay? See, this is looking so cute. This would look so different without the stamping, because you get the really nice details for the leaves, but it's still looking adorable. Closing that so we don't mix things up. Last but not least, I have Mossy Meadow, and I'm just making sure that little kind of divot is still up in my top left. This guy kind of covers some parts, kind of goes on his own way in others. That's all right. So we've got Mossy Meadow with one last blending brush, putting lots of pressure down because we don't want this to move. If you ever have something move on you, just stop what you're doing, reposition, and keep going. Okay, it's usually not a big deal. That's why I just go nice and slow in a nice circle motion. There we go. I like it. Okay, see, sometimes we go off script and it turns out beautifully. So now you have the two options. You can purchase the whole kit and caboodle, which by the time we watch the other video, you're going to want to do. Or if you're just wanting to start out with something simple and you don't have a cut and emboss machine, you just go this way. Now, sentiment-wise, I loved the one that said birthday wishes for a day as great as you are. I'm going to stamp that in Early Espresso, just right beside my tree. And then to top this off, I could add it to my card as it is. It looks great. If I was to put it on right now, it would look adorable. But something that I love to do after I've done some stamping or coloring is to add a bit of texture to the card. So if you have any sort of simple embossing folder, something just with a very subtle look to it, you can put this inside of it now and get a really nice addition to your card. So I'm using the Timber 3D embossing folder because I figured we're using trees, we might as well use the Timber folder. And I'm going to need to grab my base plate and my embossing plate to run this through. So I'm going to show you those. And then I'm going to do this on the ground because it's easier. There's my base plate, plate number 1. Put this embossing folder on here. And then I'm putting the 3D embossing folder on top. If you bought this recently, it will be gray, so don't be alarmed. I just purchased it when it first came out, which is why mine is purple. And there we go. We're going to attach this now just with some sort of flat adhesive. So I'm going to grab my tape. If I haven't buried it, there it is. And add this to the front of the card. And then I thought the neutral sequins would be a really nice pairing with this, just because they're subtle. I can use any of the colors in the package. And it was a nice way for me to show off some glitter, but not overwhelm the card. Okay, so just grab a couple, maybe one large, one small, and then one more small here, and there you have it. So you can make yourself this little cheat sheet if you'd like, because it really is nice to have it to look at. It shows you kind of the order in which you need to go. If you're playing with colors, you could always write down the colors beside there. And then this is 2 different versions now of how you can create the same beautiful tree card using the stamp or without the stamp. I will mention the little evergreen trees are very, very beautiful if you use a combination of Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy. So again, I don't know for sure when that video will come out, but it'll be closer to Christmas because it's a more wintry Christmas theme card. But I have another in store for you. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Add a comment maybe in the description there and just tell me which one do you prefer. Are you team stamping or team masking all the way? I'm interested to know, and I look forward to crafting with you guys again next Tuesday on another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye.